Imagine this. You work your whole life, build up savings, buy a home, maybe even start a small business. Then, one day, something happens to you. Do you know exactly what will happen to all of it? Will your loved ones get what you wanted them to have? Or will the courts and taxes take a big bite first? That's the hidden battle between a living trust and a will. And today, I am going to break it down so simply that by the end, you will know exactly which one is right for you. But here's the twist. Most people think a will is enough. What they don't realize is that the real difference could mean the survival or collapse of your family's finances. Stick around, because once you hear this, you'll never look at estate planning the same way again. Number 1. What a will really does. A will is basically your written instructions. It says who gets what when you pass away. For example, you might write that your house goes to your daughter, your car to your son, and your savings to your spouse. Pretty straightforward, right? But here's the catch. A will does not actually transfer anything on its own. It has to go through a process called probate. Probate is a court procedure where a judge checks your will, makes sure debts are paid, and then authorizes the distribution of what's left. Probate can take months or even years. It can also be expensive, sometimes costing thousands of dollars in court fees and lawyer fees. And here's something most people don't realize. A will becomes public record once it goes through probate. That means anyone can see what you owned and who inherited it. Example, imagine Sarah passes away and leaves a will that says her son gets the family home. But the will has to go through probate. The court process drags on for 18 months. Legal fees eat up a big portion of the estate, and her son can't move into the home until it's finally approved. Number 2. What a living trust does. A living trust is like creating a treasure chest while you're alive. You put your assets, your house, bank accounts, investments, into this chest. You keep the key while you're alive, and you decide who gets it when you're gone. The big difference is that when you pass away, the trust does not go through probate. Everything is transferred directly to the people you named. Faster, smoother, and usually with less cost. Example, Mike sets up a living trust and places his home, retirement accounts, and business shares into it. When he dies, his wife and kids get immediate access without waiting months in probate court. The process is private, and no one outside the family knows the details. Living trusts can also help if you become disabled. Instead of the court stepping in to appoint a guardian, your chosen trustee can manage things for you. That's something a will cannot do. Number 3. The cost factor. A will is cheaper to set up. You can sometimes create one online for less than $100. Lawyers might charge a few hundred to draft one. A living trust, on the other hand, usually costs more upfront. Depending on the lawyer and the complexity of your assets, it could be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. But here's the trade-off. While a will is cheap to create, probate costs can be huge later. Probate fees often eat up 3 to 7% of an estate's value. So if your estate is worth $500,000, your family might lose $15,000 to $35,000 just in probate. So a trust is like paying a bigger bill up front to save your family from massive bills later. Number 4. Privacy versus public record. Remember, a will goes through probate. That means the details of your estate become public. If you own property, businesses, or even valuable collections, anyone can see it. A living trust stays private. Only the beneficiaries and the trustee know what's inside. Example, a celebrity who dies with just a will often has all their estate details splashed across the news. But when someone wealthy dies with a trust, the public may never know the details because it bypasses probate. For everyday people, privacy can also matter. Maybe you don't want distant relatives or curious neighbors knowing what you left behind. Number 5. Control after you're gone. With a will, you can say who gets what, but once it's handed over, that's it. If you leave $100,000 to your son, he gets it all at once, no strings attached. With a trust, you can set rules. For example, you might say your daughter gets her inheritance in stages, 25% when she turns 25, another 25% at 30, and the rest at 35, or you could say money can only be used for college expenses. This makes a trust especially useful if you have young kids, financially irresponsible relatives, or blended families. Number 6. Taxes and savings. Here's a big myth. People think trusts automatically save you on taxes. That's not always true. Both wills and living trusts alone don't cut your estate taxes. But a trust can include advanced planning features like tax shelter trusts or charitable trusts. These can reduce or even eliminate estate taxes for larger estates. For most beginners, the bigger advantage of a living trust isn't about taxes, but about avoiding probate costs and headaches. Example: a wealthy family with $10 million might use multiple trusts to cut their estate tax bill in half. Meanwhile, a middle-class family may use a basic living trust just to save their kids from a 2-year probate battle. Number 7. What if you become incapacitated? Here's something most beginners never think about. What happens if you don't die, but you become unable to manage your money because of illness or accident? A will does nothing here. It only works after death. A living trust can appoint someone to manage your assets if you can't. No court involvement. No messy guardianship hearings. Example: Susan develops dementia. Because she set up a living trust years earlier, her chosen trustee, her daughter, steps in smoothly and continues paying bills, managing investments, and keeping the house. Without that trust, the court would have had to appoint a conservator, which can be expensive and stressful. Number 8. Flexibility and changes. People often worry, if I make a living trust, am I stuck with it forever? The answer is no. A revocable living trust lets you change or cancel it anytime while you're alive and mentally capable. Want to add a new grandchild as a beneficiary? Easy. Want to remove someone who upset you? You can. Wills can also be updated, but every change usually requires drafting a new will or adding an official amendment. So both are flexible, but a living trust often makes changes more seamless. Number 9. Which one should you choose? If you are young, single, and don't own much, a will might be enough. If you own a home, have kids, or want to spare your family from long court battles, a living trust might be the smarter choice. Think of it this way. A will is like a simple map that shows where your stuff should go. A living trust is like giving your loved ones the keys to the car, full tank of gas, and no toll roads to slow them down. Number 10. The biggest mistake people make. Here's a shocking truth. Some people pay thousands to set up a trust, but then they never actually move their assets into it. That's like buying a safe, but never putting your jewelry inside. If your house, bank accounts, and investments aren't retitled in the name of the trust, probate still applies. So the biggest mistake is thinking the paperwork alone is enough. The trust has to be funded properly. Number 11. Common myths you should ignore. Myth 1. Trusts are only for the rich. Wrong. Even middle-class families benefit from avoiding probate. Myth 2. A will avoids probate. False. A will always goes through probate. Myth 3. Trusts save on all taxes. Not automatically. You need advanced estate planning for tax benefits. Number 12. Guardianship for minor children. One thing beginners often overlook is how guardianship works. A will allows you to name guardians for your minor children. That means you can decide who will raise them if something happens to you. A living trust, however, does not let you appoint guardians. Its main job is handling assets, not children. So if you have kids under 18, you may still need a will alongside your trust to make sure guardianship is covered. Number 13. Handling out-of-state property. If you own property in more than one state, a will creates a big problem. Each property may have to go through probate in its own state, a process called ancillary probate. A living trust solves this issue because once you transfer those properties into the trust, your trustee can manage them all at once, without multiple probate cases. Example: John has a vacation home in Florida and his main residence in Texas. With only a will, his family faces 2 separate probate cases. With a living trust, both properties transfer smoothly under one plan. Number 14. Faster access to assets. With a will, your family may wait months before they can use any inheritance. That delay can be painful if they need money quickly for funeral costs, mortgage payments, or daily expenses. With a trust, the trustee can provide access almost immediately. This speed can mean the difference between stability and financial struggle during an already stressful time. Number 15. Reducing family disputes. Probate can stir up conflict. Family members may contest a will, drag each other into court, and fight for years. A living trust reduces this risk because the process is private, quicker, and harder to challenge. By cutting down the opportunities for legal battles, trusts often bring more peace of mind to families. Number 16. Special needs planning. If you have a loved one with special needs who receives government benefits, leaving money through a will can actually hurt them. That inheritance might disqualify them from important assistance programs. But a trust can be set up as a special needs trust, which allows your loved one to benefit financially without losing access to essential government aid. Number 17. Business continuity. If you own a small business, a will may leave your company tied up in probate for months. That can cause operations to stall, employees to leave, and even clients to walk away. A living trust ensures your chosen trustee can step in right away to keep the business running. This makes trusts especially valuable for entrepreneurs who want their life's work to continue smoothly. So, which is right for you? A will, a trust, or maybe even both? Many people actually have both. A will can cover small items you forgot to put in the trust, while the trust takes care of the big-ticket assets. Now let me ask you, if something happened to you tomorrow, would your family be left with a clear, smooth plan, or with months of legal headaches? What do you think is more important for your situation right now? Saving money up front with a will, or saving your family time and stress later with a trust? Let me know in the comments.